Self-love is the new sexy, the podcast devoted to helping you overcome life's most painful and stubborn challenges so you can feel great, have more energy, and live stress-free every day. To reach your full potential, simply work with the powerful spiritual principles that are readily accessible to everyone. It's easier than you think, and on today's show, W. Mark Watts is going to show you how starting with self-love is the key to joyously and harmoniously making that happen.
Hey everybody, this is W. Mark Watts. Welcome and thank you for hanging out with me for another episode of Self-Love is the New Sexy. And today's episode is about allowing everyone to color outside of the lines. Allowing everyone to color outside of the lines. Now, again, this is near and dear to my heart, just as pretty much every episode that I do. However, I like to bring it to you real and right to the minute as far as things are unfolding in my life, because, of course, it's fresher. And I know that, again, we're all one. So if I'm dealing with some of these things or learning some of these lessons or going through some of these experiences, I know many of you out there are as well. So that allowing people to color outside of the lines. I was sitting here today going through some topics for discussion, and this one stood out the most. Number one, it stands out to me because, we're taught all of our lives to color inside the lines because it looks nice, it looks neat, and it's a way of, you later learn to infringe upon your creativity. I don't recall ever having one teacher that ever said, hey, it's okay to color outside of the lines. In fact, color outside of the lines and let me see what you get. Let me see what happens when you do that. So we've been, and I don't want to harp on our educational system. However, I will make this one comment. Our whole lives we are taught to stand in line, to be quiet, to speak when spoken to color inside the lines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we've been ingrained to follow specific patterns. Now I know there all are reasons why some of those things are important, so I get that. However, it's also important to remember that we all have our own individual vibe, our own individual flow, things that make us who we are, that I think we have to be very cognizant of, and we have to use that because it accentuates who we are. It accentuates the value that we bring, and it's the beauty in what makes all of our differences, all our unique talents and ability. It's what makes everything beautiful. So allowing people to color outside of the lines is huge because, again, it's the fabric. It makes everything nicer. Now, number two, and the real reason why I'm doing this episode is because it frees you from inhibiting other people and what they can create and what they can be and what they can do and their own journey. And it also frees you up for your own journey. So what do I mean by that? Again, more specifically, I thank the universe, God, source, the divine, so much every day for my son, because he, again, is helping me learn another lesson. And it's just that, allowing him to color outside of the lines. I made that conscious decision maybe a year ago or so. And of course, when you make that decision, the universe will test you. So, of course, my son tests me numerous ways. And one of those ways is he was interested or is interested in becoming a rapper or making a rap song, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, of course, I encourage him because it's something positive, something that he can sink his teeth into, something he says he enjoys. So I'm all on board. Well, needless to say, the song that he sends me and his mom and his friends to listen to, let's just say a man of my age, it's not an enjoyable song to listen to, especially to hear your son rapping and saying some of the things that he's saying. However, it is his art, and I have to allow that. He's 19, almost to be 20 in 6 months or so. So I support it. Don't agree with the topics and the words and the language, and I told him that, but I have to allow him the space to go out and create. He's 19, almost 20 years old. That's what this age is for. As long as he's not hurting anyone, hey, knock yourself out. Now, I can't say that 5 years ago I felt that same way. Now, in doing so, I think he's testing me, unbeknownst to maybe himself and maybe even to me. But he's testing me. The universe is testing to see if I'm willing to really allow my son to color outside of the lines, because that's not something that I would prefer that he do. I prefer that it be a lot cleaner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've got my own ideas for how he should create. And that is the challenge oftentimes with parents and brothers and sisters and, anybody in an authority figure in someone's life who cares about another individual. We have our vision. We have our thoughts. We want to wrap our own agenda around what another person does, which is absolutely not fair. Every individual on this planet they have the right to do what they've come here to do. They have the right to experiment. They have the right to create. They have the right to color outside the lines, and we cannot infringe upon that. And what I've noticed is the more that I've allowed myself to allow him to move and create and do his own thing, it is improving our communication and our relationship, allowing him to do his thing unencumbered by my own opinions. And it's freeing me up, making me feel better because of the freedom that he and I have more, and reiterates to me that I have the right to do those things as well. So I'm going to bring it full circle to the people who are listening to this episode. If, in fact, you have your own ideas for how someone else in your life should behave, should perform, should create, should do and not do, I'm inviting you to reconsider, to allow them to color outside the lines, move to a new city, take a new job, create a new form of art, color their hair or cut their hair or wear a particular style of clothing. Allow them the freedom to be who they are, because it will free them more. It will loosen up your relationship, and it will free you up more. Give everybody license. The more that we do this on an individual basis, the more it will give everyone license to do their own thing, to color outside the lines. Because again, that is the beauty. That is the essence of what we're here to do. Is we're here to bring our own flavor, our own vibe, our own thoughts and ideas to how do we shape our life to serve our mission and others, to live joyfully and peacefully on this planet we call Earth. And I can tell you, it is making me feel so much better that I've come to that realization, and that I'm actually applying that in my own life, especially with respect to me and my son, that it just really makes me feel good to know that I'm honoring him, allowing him to do his thing and grow and whatever that looks like. And I'm also doing those things on my end. I'm creating new things or thinking of new ways to be, thinking of new places I could possibly visit and maybe live, and, doing my own thing as well. So it's so beautiful. It's so freeing, which is the main reason why this is such an important topic. Is we have to allow people to be themselves. We have to allow ourselves to be our own individual selves, and be excited about our own individuality, be willing to show that, exemplify that, be all of who we are, because it is freeing, it is fun, and it is absolutely joyous. It's an amazing feeling when you can allow other people to be free without becoming offended, and then you get to be free and you can fly free as a bird and not be concerned about what other people are thinking about what you're doing, how you're creating, how you're living. As long as we're not hurting anybody else, go for it. Have fun. Be free. Enjoy. Color outside of the lines. Thank you for hanging out with me again. It's always a pleasure. I look forward to speaking with you all again very soon. Be good. Bye now.
You've been listening to Self-Love is the New Sexy with W. Mark Watts. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to tell a friend. Also, make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to our show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you listen to podcasts.